Yeah, shall I start that program? Hello, dear students. Hello.
Good evening,
Hello.
sir.
Yeah, good evening. It is the audible, please.
Yes, sir. It's audible. Yes, sir. Audible.
Yeah, fine. Yeah. So this session is the interfacing of the digital library. This is called as a interfacing. So interfacing, what is that meaning of interfacing? Interfacing is the system approaching by manually. That is the main thing. The user interfacing in the system or should be interfacing with the machine. That is mainly. So that means in the any one of the people they are the interacting with the through the system only through the machine reading. So this is the machine reading. It will be that is the machine made readable. It is called as a computer. Computer will be working within the two interfaces. That is mainly input devices and output devices. Output devices. So in this interface is the software and both hardware it will be mixing. So in the interface of that any people with the computer with the hardware and software, so it will be both are merging in the machine. So that is the mechanism. In this mechanism, the two aspects. And the first one is the input. In case any command, any of that information where the providing to input the system, it will be automatically it will be taken. That is called as the input system. In the output system, it will be allowing. So in case in the output where the providing the central processing unit where the providing to the printout, so automatically it will be comes to the output of the device. That it comes to the input means in case we are the entering any of the keyboard, any of the document, any of that information, we are the typing automatically it will be receiving the data. And the transmission of the data, it is called as the output of the devices. It will be showing the interacting in case if what are the information we are the providing the output to click it immediately it will be showing. These two aspects it will be interfacing in through the machine reading. So this is the main methodology here. The interfacing is the system which is user interact with the machine. User interfacing to user interacting with the machines means in the computer machine is called as a computer here. So in the digital library is the called as the key control of that board is the machine remission. Mission once we are the typing any of the data, any of that information, automatically in this system in the machine mechanism, it is including the software and hardware, it will be working in the two phases. What is the input devices and output devices? Input devices means once we are the providing the data, automatically it will be receiving. Output devices, once we are the giving to the any other click on that, automatically it will becomes to the output. Generally, we will get it that human interaction, the mechanism interfacing in the engineering stream people. So, which is the easiest of the way to understanding the mechanism to using of that access of that information. So basically, that is the most important. The types of the user interfaces. How many types are how many types are there in the interfaces? In this interfaces, around in the 5 interfaces are there in the different approaches. So in the basically batch interface, what is that batch interfaces? In the 1945 to 1968, that is the interface one interface that it will be approaching to the computer. So how it will be working in the user interface? For example, you are the searching that information. So what is that user interfacing at that time in the batch of interfacing in the 1948, 1945 to 1965 punched card. So punched card means it will be cataloging card. So in the previously in the cataloging cataloging method, how it will be going on, you know. So today is the OPAC is there. In the previously there is no OPAC card. Punched card system is there. Punched card system, there are the 3 categories is there. First is the cataloging. First is the author cataloging, title cataloging, subject cataloging. So in the box, they are the preparing, for example, in our library, for 10,000 books are there. So in the 10,000, how many titles are there? In our library, total 10,000 volumes are there. 2,000 titles are there. So volumes is the 2,000, titles is the 2,000, volumes is the 10,000. So how it will be categorized? How many subjects are there? So easily to identify the subjects. First of all, in the titles, what are the titles are there in our library? How many titles is there? 1,200 titles is there. You can prepare the first titles catalog. So how many titles we have? 200 titles we have. So immediately, so we are preparing the 12 titles. So that is the 1,200 titles. And second one is the volumes. So that is called as the SOCA. That is the differentiative. First, you have the collecting the titles, and second one is the authors. In the 200 titles is there, 200 authors are there. So you can prepare the authors list, one cataloging. So author-wise, we have the alphabetical order. So A is first Anand Kumar, B is Bhairappa, C is such type of these things. A to Z, we are preparing the cataloging and arranging in the punched card system. In the card size in the 12.5 into 3.5 centimeters, it will be standard. In the previously postcards is there, na? That type of that standard of that card where the punched the card and tagging the cataloging box. So author cataloging, and also it will be comes to the title cataloging is over. And subject cataloging. In our library, in the 10,000 of the books, for example, how many subjects are there? Botany, physics, chemistry, zoology, maths. In the 5 categories, in the 5 subjects, we have the preparing. So 5 botany, how many titles are there? Chemistry, how many titles are there? According to all the 5 subjects, easily each of the title, we can clearly to preparing the cataloging. Why we are preparing the 3 categories? In the previous days, as I am the new author, new personality, I am coming to our library. So I don't know what is that title of that any of the, I know I want only maths books. So the people directly to come to the subject wise in the maths, automatically randomly how many mathematics books are there, easily to find out to checking that purpose. On that purpose only they are preparing the subject list. In the subject in the mathematics we have this, for example, 1,000 titles are there. In the 1,000 entries we are preparing. So that is called as a subject catalog. Okay, are you catching point? That is one thing.
Yes,
yeah. And second one, author cataloging. Author cataloging means how many author titles is there in our library? 200 titles is there. In the mathematics is the 1,000 volumes, 1,000 titles is there. 1,000 authors we can preparing the author cataloging. Title cataloging, how many titles is there? Total titles are there. You can prepare the total titles, 1,200 catalogs. So 1,200 cards we are preparing and bunching. So that is the card system is there, the punched card system. So automatically in the top level of the each of that card, we have the punch the card and one tag is there, one rod. We have allocated the rack and shelving the separate rack. So once you are browsing the rack, automatically the punched card, each and everything we will cross check to see the title wise alphabetically. Some old libraries right now, they are following that method. Old manual of that libraries. So that method. So right now that is the gone away. That is the user interface means once user, who is that user? I am user. Interface, what is that interface I am using? What library? The interface is called as a library. So library is called as a, what is the methodology they are following? Interfacing, what is that? In the library, what are the materials are there? Books are there. Books, how did it be find out? Subject wise, title wise, author wise. So three interfaces we are the following. That is the batch interfacing in the 1945 to 1968. After that, it will becomes to the command line user interface in 1969 to 1983. The command system means at that time the people will be typing the system in the computers. The computers are came at the time onwards. They are typing the computer and preparing the card system in the punched card, just like as the punched card of typing the method. That is one second point. And third is the graphical user interface in the 1984 onwards. Graphical interface means in the computer designing, in the keyboard, we are the typing, mouse, we are the, what is the methodologies they are the following, using keyboard, we are the typing, mouse, and providing the specific graphical, just like as the graph images, we are the preparing the cards. That type of that interface is the going on in the third phase. And the fourth one is web-based user interfaces, user interfaces. Right now, web-based interfaces means right now in the web OPAC. Web OPAC means an online open access cataloging card. So right now in the OPAC is OPAC. What is that? What is the meaning of online public access cataloging? Web OPAC means in the web-based, for example, I am sitting in the library. I am not only sitting in the library. I am sitting in my home. In the British Library, what type of the books are there? Directly go to the www.britishlibrary.org and you can search it in the toolbar. How many books are there? What is the titles are there? I am the find out. So that is what type of the books are there in the library. You can get the online OPAC. They are providing one link. You can typing on that link automatically. We are searching. If you need only Cambridge English learners, Just you can Cambridge English, you can type it automatically. The Cambridge of the title, how many books are there? So what is the documents are there? It will be showing. So that is called as a web-based interface using interfaces. Web-based interfaces means the website based through internet. We are accessing the website and getting that information to me. For example, our live example, IGNO is there. So IGNO is there, Indira Gandhi National University. So in this website, how it will be collecting the information, how it will be downloading the assignments, procedures, web-based searching of that information, web-based interface. Directly we will go there in that website, in the igno.ac.in, and you can click it in the search bar or toolbar, directly go there and click on that, the downloads of that assignments, and click it, and you can download it. It will be getting that information of that assignments. So same thing in the web-based browsing, what type of that information? Here in the OPAC, the tool is there. So once you are the searching, automatically it will be reflected ISBN wise, ISSN wise, in the Mark 21 format method are there. So automatically in all the marks fields, it will be reflected on the database. So that is one contemporary. And finally, touch user interface. Nowadays is the technology, it will be upgrading. So good technologies came right now. So they did not browse directly. So touch interfaces is there in the top NIT, top IITs and top private institutions. They are providing the touch screens. The OPACs, they are there in the touch screen boards. Once you click it on that, you can enter you can in the screen, just like as the ATM, for a live example, ATM. ATM is there where the going to the drop the your ATM card and touch to the screen and operating, you are entering on a PIN number, saving account or current account, how much of the amount you can record. You can choose the amount, after you can click it and submit, and it will be getting that money. So same scenario here in the touch screen. Here then the computers in the latest technologies in the world wise, touch screens is there. Once you will touching the screen, so if you need what type of that information you can require, automatically you can touch it. So you can search it, you can type the keyboard of that indication, what type of that information is required. Automatically it will be receiving the showing the data. In case if you need the data, it will be showing, it will be working well and good. If you need the document, automatically you can another button, you can click it and you can download it. Automatically it will be downloaded and give the print option on the touch screen only. Just touch the print. So automatically nearby the printer is there. By default, it will be comes to the printer one by one. It will be also asking whether page to page or back to page. That option you can select page to page or paper to paper. So automatically it will be coming. These are types of the interfaces are right now. It will be a development of the scenario. So these interfaces are mainly in the 5 interfaces. In the first one is the basic interfaces, the 1945 to 1968. In the basic interfaces, what type of that information we are getting only for the information of punched card system, we are getting that information at the time of 1945 to 68. After the 68 to 69 to 83, it will be called as a single entry typing of. Okay. And third one is the graphical user interfacing. At the time in the keyboard and mouse, there they accessing and using the graphical designing of the catalogings. So this is the third picturization of this one. And the fourth one is the web-based interfacing. So web-based interfacing means it will be comes to the through the internet in the browsing www.google.com, www.igno.ac.in, and you can search it and you will get it that information that is called as a user face interaction. And touch user interfacing means in the top screen is there, the big libraries and digital libraries. In the digital libraries, we are clicking on that in the search toolbar. You can search that option automatically. It will be showing the article. Once you are the searching what type of that information you can require, you can download it and click it on that printout. Automatically it will be comes to the printout. There is no in the manual of that system. They did not sitting and they did not entering, typing and all these things. It's through only in the biometric, just like as the input of that finger only. Once you will put it on that finger, automatically it will be tracing the retrieving the information, providing the information and downloadable of the information and take the hard copy of the printout. This is entirely process of that following through the user interfaces only. So in the model designing of the digital library interfaces. In the digital library interfaces, modern features are came. So what there are the new digital libraries technologies that are going on. So in the main here, what is that modern design digital libraries interface? In the digital library interfaces, there are the three categories. So first one is the user information users. So who is that information users? Any one of the students or faculty or any one of that community, those who are the asking, seeking of that information of that personality, that is called as information. The people will be asking to asking such type of that information is required. That is called as a information users. So that means the user, any one of the law graduate is there. They are asking the law information. Social sciences student is there. They are asking the social sciences information. This is all our information users only, and the information and providers. So the second one is the information providers, that is called as the authors. So just like as the information providers, who is that is the librarians, they are the providing the representative of the author's information or a specific collection of that associate of that information through the authors. That is one, second one. And third one is the information administrators. So information users mainly basically people who will access the core or more one of the documents collection available in find of perspective of the material. Information users, for example, they are asking the maximum number of information they are required. So such type of that people, they are asking that information. And third one is the information administrators. So information administrator means there are for example, as the librarian or otherwise the system administrator is there. The people will be stored that information and retrieving those are the that is the responsible of that personality. For example, in our library, the what is that information is there, entirely that information is the confidential and stored in our library with the responsibility of that entire data. In case where the any occurs is there, any of the viruses came, for example, by mistake where the entered in the delete option, automatically entirely those who are the saving the data, all the data it will be gone. Now immediately how can it is possible to retrieving the data? So difficulty. So information administrators, they are the providing the quality of that information. Those who are the asking the users automatically, they are the providing that information. That is the main thing. So this is the main three principles are there. The digital library interfaces, who is there? They are the asking. First one is the information users. That means new one, any one of the people, they are the coming to the library, they are coming to the institution, they are the asking that information. That is the mainly. And the information providers. So just like as the authors and their librarians, they are the providing the information providers. That means those who are the asking that information, we are the providing that information. That is mainly. And information administration, for example, in Amazon is there. So we are Amazon, there people will be providing the administrators. For example, in the transaction system, the last 3 months, for example, just like as we have the delete, we have some of the data is there, it will be deleted in our account details, downloading the information. So if we need the last 3 months of the transactions in the how many Amazon online e-commerce, what are the materials we are the procuring? So how it will be getting that information through asking the information administrators. The information administrators, they are the saving the data and providing the required of that personality. These three parameters, it will be reflected to the user interfacing interactions. Okay. So this is the first part and second part. What is that? What is that interfacing? Interfacing is the mechanism of mechanism of the computers. So what type of that users input and output devices? Types of user interactions. There are 1945 to till now, what are the touch screens of the user interface is the going on? We have the discussed. So what is the models of the designing of the digital libraries is called as a information users, information providers, and information administrators. These three sectors it will be completed. In this final round is the digital library users. So in the digital library users, what are that information there the people will be expecting from us? So information users, they are the expecting library, digital library users, more number of that information they are the expecting from the libraries. That is, for example, in our library, the digital library. So entirely all the content of that information, it will be converted to the digital content of the content of that format. It will be working through the interface of internet based only. So this entirely information find out the, so what is that functionalities of the digital library of the users? Find out retrieving the performance of that information through the interface. For example, you are the coming new user. you are asking one of that information. If you need any one of the journal is the required, one textbook is the required, Telugu Sahityalu you can require, that is the competitive book is required. Just the people will be searching, it will be the information, it will be available or not. It will be showing the interfacing of that information through the system, the digital library. That means in our library, where then the digital library means what is that? So what are the domains of that? I am working as the librarian in one of the esteemed engineering college. So what type of the domain of that information I have in my library? So technology, R&D, literature, and friction. So some of the general collections, general knowledges, the employment needs, and case studies. So different approaches of that information I have, digital content of that information will be provided to my server. So on that basis, any one of that people, they are accessing my library. So automatically it will be retrieving the information. That is one thing. And digital library uses basically receiving the documents, meetings, and specific criteria. So in case I am working on the R&D sector, I want the DST reports. So DST purpose, I want the science and technology information. So the people will be receiving the information meetings in the specific on that area. So that is one thing. Have the results of the browsing search potentiality. So in the searching, what type of the searchings they are searching. So automatically the type of that information, it will be showing the entirely data. So this is the basically the user interface means the user what type of that information, they are the cross-checking of that bibliographical searching or subject searching, any content of that based content management of that, particularly in the people will be asking COVID-19 diseases affected problems. Immediately it will be showing in the COVID in the COVID area time in the truth of the COVID-19, entirely the results it will be showing in the screen. So whatever of that information you can record, you can receive. That interfaces it will be showing on in the area. So that is called as a digital library users. And second one is the digital library providers. So digital library providers, who is the providers of the digital library? So concerning that institution, it will be provided to the digital library, not only to all the people to accessing of the digital library. I am so individually, if you need the digital library, you are establishing the digital library. We have the some of the requirements is the software and hardware and the computers and digital environment, digital creation, accessing of that people, n number of that people there, the browsing. So this all the criteria it will be there. It will be provided to the digital library providers. That is the main thing. And digital library administrator. So digital library administrator means, for example, I am the librarian. I am the digital library administrator in my library. So I have the institutional repository is there with me. So entirely all the students, UGPU students, project reports, project records, and rare book of the documents, e-books of the content management. So some case studies, such type of all the e-content of the information is there. So those who are asking that information, I am accurately provided to that facility, that flexibility to the students. UG students, for example, they did not to ask the MTech projects. So in case the people will be asking the MTech project, immediately it will be restricted. So because the UG people only asking for the UG information only, so it will be not misusing. So such type of that administration of the controlling of that point, digital library, digital administrators now using control and providing smooth organization of that accessibility facility to the all the user community. So on that basis, the people will be providing the type of facilities and moving to the what type of the technology is required. Immediately, the people will be providing such type of that informations. That is the mainly here. That is the customization. So in this area, the digital library administrators customization. So that means who the people for all the data, for example, in our institution library. So whose data is there? So in the R&D information, it is not useful to the UG students. So automatically to customization, UG students, what type of that information is required? For example, the degree students are there no library. The digital library information, that is the degree college student, degree level of that information only to providing. So that is the customization. They did not misusing of that any of that information. The people will be customizing to providing accurate of that information to specific people in the specific of that area. That is the main thing. And platform independence. In the platform of that independence mean in the digital library where the providing platform of that independence, any one of the people in the virtual mode, in the PC or in the handwrite, or in the easiest of that way to platform to accessing of that that is the independence. For example, I have in my mobile, so I'm using the multidisciplinary through the WhatsApp meetings and etc. The platform of that interfacing is the perfectness is there, virtual or knowledgeable way, knowledge based system. Any one of the people they can be accessed. The flexibility that is the most important. So that is the platform of the interface is also very important, and also multilinguality. That means multilinguality means it will be reflected to more number of the language examples in the right to write of that information, the different approaches of the emails and e-browsing and e-content, digital libraries, everything it will be useful to the through the interface only, that facility, and access for showing with the disabilities. So access, this is the disabilities means access for those with the disabilities means, so the digital libraries will be accessible to all the people, those who are there in our domain. So everyone is eligible to access that information in our library. So this is the main characteristics, and also in the features of the various digital libraries, softwares using the interface. So this is the basic contemporary of the digital libraries. What is the purpose we are using? What is that importance? Here in the features of that various digital library softwares, the digital library softwares user interfacing, how it will be going on, we will discuss. So in the digital library, several digital libraries is there in the worldwide, topest. The free digital library interfaces is called as a ePrints. So that is the name of the printers is called as a ePrint, Greenstone, DSpace. These three is the live examples. For example, the ePrints. ePrints is the open source of that software. So any one of the people can be downloadable and easy to access of that this software. So easiest of that way is this the digital content of that all the information is available in this area. So this is the this entirely the ePrints is the called as the electronic. ePrints is the developed by the School of Electronics and Computer Science, University of the University of UK. So that is called as a Southampton, UK. That is the developed by the ePrints. So ePrints it will be reflected to the digital library software. So it will be supported to the documents and multimedia of that facility, and also providing to the multi-languages of that support. For example, Chinese. So Chinese people, they have the options that they given. This digital library will be working this model. For example, where the buying the just like this example, I am telling to the ePrints in the mobile is there. So in the mobile, what type of that language is there? So in the Oriya, Kannada, Telugu, in India, in the 25, 28 language, 26 languages is there. So automatically all the 26 languages by default in the Telugu, English, Hindi, Tamil, Malayalam, Kannada is there. So where the what are the interest of that language of the people? The iPhone, any phone is there. The phone, all the people will be accessing. So Nokia is the Nokia, but the language is the differentiator. So I'm the Telugu personality. I'm using the Telugu. Kannada people Kannada. The same scenario here also in the ePrints. The people will be downloading and searching up that option in the multilingual language. The system it will be asking the ePrints digital library if you need the Telugu, English, Spanish, or Chinese or Japanese. The Chinese people, they are choosing the Chinese, automatically enter the content, it will be downloadable by the Chinese language. Or otherwise, I'm Indian, I'm choosing the accent of the UK language in English. So automatically the content it will be reflected through the English only. So providing the multi-language of that supporting system, that means the user interfacing is called as a ePrint, it will be provided to the multi-language of the supporting of the system. It will be open architecture and initiated by the competent, that is a complaint. That means open access interface, that is OASA, that is the Open Archives Initiative. That means any one of the journal is there. For example, in the journal is there. For fundamental subject physics is there on journal. So otherwise, Sadhana Engineering Sciences journal is there. So the journals, it will be archives, it will be reflected. For example, the journals, it will be started around in the 1950 onwards, they are the starting. Or otherwise 1970 onwards, they are the printing the journal. So every year 1972 till 2023, that is monthly, they are the publishing or quarterly, half yearly, yearly, whatever it may be, the periodicity. But there the publishing that article, it will becomes to the directly to storing the retrieving of that information. So today 2023. So I want the 2022 December journal issue is required. So automatically in the open archives means in the previous of that issue, in the back end of that issues, the 2021, 2020, or 2023, this is the current is the going on. 2022 back issues is there, 2021, 19, 18, or 1920, or 1970, such type of that in the periodicity, which year they are the publishing on the date onwards. So all the archives are, it will be reflected on the e-prints. So this is the major features are there. The features mainly supports the archives and documents of multimedia and data. So the multimedia and data means called as a videos are there. For example, in the NPTEL courses is there, MOOCs virtual courses is there, Swayam Prabha is there. So for example, IGNO is for delivering the video lectures. That entirely video lectures telecasting, it will be available in the videos, videograph is available. So that entirely it will be reflected to support into the e-prints. That is the mainly. Providing the multi-language, that is the number of Spanish, Chinese, German, or any of the worldwide in the for UNESCO, that is the UNO, it will be recognized the five top of that language: Russian, Chinese, Spanish, China, Chinese, Russian, Spanish, UK, and India. So that type of that any one of the language that people will be accessible easiest of that way in the e-prints. And also open archives. That means in the previous publications also it will be available in the source of that information. E-prints were user interface. So e-print is called as a user interface. That means user interface means I am within your interface to all the students. Myself, Mallikarjuna, I am the interfacing to all the students to accessing to the class. I am engaging the class in the through the Google Meet. So this is the user interface to you and me. Interface means no one user face. So in the digital library, e-prints also interfacing you and me to accessing of that information. That is called as a e-print of that information. So in the e-prints, they are providing the several dynamic features are providing e-prints. So in the digital library content, what is that keyword, the text? So for example, in this area, in the keywords, especially in the full text in the digital library, in the e-prints, what type of that information they are providing? Basically, full text of that information. Full text of that information means, so time please, what about that time? Yeah, okay.
5:34.
Yeah. So,
5:34.
yeah. So here in the full text. So in the full text means entirely the article, it will be content, it will be reflected to the, there is no abstract, full text of that information, it will be reflected. And same thing in the title. So for example, whether searching any of the title, full text of the title, it will be reflected in the screen. That is the main thing. And abstract. So what type of that abstract if you need, for example, journal is there, full that abstract, it will be reflected, date, it will be reflected, keywords. So in the, for example, in the writing of that any of that article in the literature where the writing, all the information it will be retrieving, item type, editor information, publication, reference, publication, all the information will be reflected through the standard format. So easiest of that way to understanding the searching of that interface in the customization. So for example, in the searching of the interfacing, so for example, in this journal, in the database, in the e-prints, I'm searching one of that information. So accurating that type of that information will be provided to the through the system. And the saving the search engine, saving the searches. For example, I'm searching one of that information in the Ranganathan, SR Ranganathan 5 laws of the library sense. I am the searching. So immediately it will be saving the data. So in case you, after that, sometimes you will see what are the search of that history, you can click it. In the search of that history, it will be showing to the favoring of the searching, what type of the search engines were the following the search engines in the previously, last week, last day, in the last month, the last year, how many articles were the searched, how many information were searched. Entirely the type of that information will be retrieved, retrieving that information, retrieving the information process of the history, it will be reflected to the e-prints. So e-prints is the basically to expertising of the research result. So here the e-prints is the expertise. That means it's the very expert of the people. Expert means very sharp. The people will be asking immediately, just to put it on the SR Ranganathan. SR Ranganathan entirely profile, it will be reflected. So that type of that expertization of that information, it will be providing in this database. And the browsing. So in the e-browsing, you are the browsing any of that information. So automatically in the digital libraries, in the content of that information, automatically it will be retrieving the transmitting the information on the screen. That is the main thing. Browsing up by year. For example, in the browsing of that year. So that's we are discussing in the previously. That is the archives. So that means in the books or the journal, it will be published around in the 2018 onwards. Till date, 2018, what are the issues is there? 2019 is there. 2020 is there. 2002 is there. So what are that in the 2020? How many publications is came? So what is that information there? The publisher entirely browsing of that history. That is the previously browsing of that year-wise of the browsing. So yearly in the previous years, what is the publication is the going on? That type of that information, it will be retrieving the e-prints of the digital library. So that is the main thing. The browsing of the subject content. So subject content, for example, in this list, we are the browsing the different approaches of the different subjects. For example, we are the searching the library and information. So library and information is the 005. What is that? The standards of the call number. What is the library sense? 0.25, it will be reflected to all the classification of the cataloging and serials and control and web app. And each and everything in the library of the classification, library congress of the subjects, it will be reflected in the subject area. And if you need the pharmaceutical engineering, immediately the pharmaceutical, what type of that pharmaceutical engineering is there, it will be reflected. And the computer science is there. In the computers, what type of that computer technology is going on, easy way to, it will be showing the entirely information. So that means in the, what is that here, what is that? The subject indicate, the subject means, so those who are the subject who are the searching automatically, the total subject of that information, it will be reflected, retrieving, providing that information through the system. The e-print browsing by document type, the classification and browsing of the option. So that, for example, we are the browsing the data. So how did it be showing? Not only for the, just like as the history, not only in the paragraph of the sentence, that is the document of the format of the standards. So what type of the standard? Mark format of the standard, A4 of the standard paper. For example, each of the paper, we are the, how did it be following? A4 size. So this is the standard of the documentation of the size. So automatically in the documents intention of that format, each by para, line by line, image to image, it will be showing. And also e-print, it will be auto completion of the features. So auto completion of that features means data importing and exporting interface. Data import means, so for example, if we need what type of the information is the required, we are the receiving the data. So import means we are the downloading the data. Import of the data, we are the publishing one of the research article. We are the enumerating, you are highlighting, we are the conducting one of the good project report. It will becomes to the good result. It will becomes to the patent. So automatically we are the uploading in your document, in your publication through the e-prints. So automatically that is the e-print of the database, your data it will be showing. So here the two facilities is there. That is what is that input of the devices, that is called import of the devices, and the export of the devices. Import of the devices means we have the downloadable. Export of the device, you have the uploading any of the document, any of the new information. So that type of that facilities is there. And also export of the viewers. So export to the team viewers. So here any of that information is any mismatching, mismanagement, the e-print, the expertise team is there. So you are the uploading this type of the document is there. This is the wrong. You can remove, this is the correct information. So such type of the expert of the team people, it will be available. They are the providing the exactly information. So this type of the features are available e-prints technologies. That is the e-prints digital libraries. So this is the e-prints digital library, e-print digital library software, utilization and benefits. And the second one we can discuss Greenstone library. So right now we are the discuss with the e-book e-prints libraries, and second one is the Greenstone library. So Greenstone libraries, it will be developed by the UNESCO and Human Info NGO Belgium. So the Greenstone, that is called as New Zealand. Greenstone is in New Zealand and UNESCO, and collaboratively they are the developing this database. This is also user interface data. So user interface data means what is that? The platform was independent. So the platform is the independent means, so it will be provided, they did not depending upon the one hyperlink to another hyperlink. because that what are that information is there in our database. Exactly, for example, the Greenstone library is there. So you are asking the Ranganathan information exactly in the right platform independently. Independently, it will be not as some databases is there. It will be connected to the one server to another server. So I am searching the SR Ranganathan information. The SR Ranganathan information in the library, it will be shared. That is the SR Ranganathan library. It will be there in the Tanjavur. So that it will be server connectivity to the. I am searching to the Greenstone library. Greenstone library, it will be connected to the Tanjavur library. So Tanjavur library, it will be connected, interlinking one link to another link, one server to another server. So there is no such type of the complexity. Here, platform of the independent, directly it will be enter that information. What are that information you are searching? That information will be reflected directly in the one interface, only for the one platform. That is one thing. And interpretability. Interpretability means this is the suitable of the database. It will be provided to the accurate what type of that information. The people will be asking government websites, government information, easily to find out that information accurately to the students. And also interfaces. So interfaces is also Greenstone library will be providing two separate interfaces. So two interfaces, face-to-face interfaces under group of that interfaces. So group number of the people at a time, they are the providing group interfaces. So these two interfaces is the useful to all the people. So group people, then the group discussions is then the group interacting at a time, the people will be accessing. So such type of the time also it will be supporting to the Greenstone library. And also metadata format. So metadata format also is the standard metadata formats. They are the following. That is the Mark 21st of that format in the basically in the world ways, all the people they are the following that standard of the structure. So automatically the people will be using that CDS ISS package XMLIE. So CDS ISS is some standards. That is the UNESCO. They are the following that DSpace and METS. So this is the digital library software. The DSpace is the institutional repository. So that type of that standardization of the interfaces are available here. And also document interface. So that is the document formats is the standard format. The documents format is the PDF. So PDFs automatically there is in the Word document for PDF format, RTF format, HTML format, all the formats what are there in the according to in the computer knowledge in the formats, in the documentation of that format, all the formats it will be supported by the software. So I'm uploading the HTML software, HTML format, it will be receiving. And also I'm submitting the PDF format, automatically receiving. Where the submitting to the any of the document is there in the Word document, it will be receiving. So this is the flexibility of the documents. So any document it will be receiving to the concerning the documentation formats. So irregularity of that by multidisciplinary. What type of the documents we have uploaded, all the documents it will be receiving and retrieving and transmitting that information to the single interfacing to the all the students. And multilingual. So it means it will be calculating the n number of that Chinese languages or Indian languages or citations and Spanish, any one of that. All the language it will be integrated. So for example, I am submitting the article in English. So by UK in English, I have submitted my article. Chinese people, they did not submit it in English. The people will be submitted to the document through the Chinese language. So Chinese of that language, it will be reflected to the Chinese. So in the multilingual, all the language, it will be reflected and receiving and storing in the database. So those who are the people there, the such type of that area, automatically that information, it will be showing to the Greenstone library. So that features are there in the Greenstone library and search interface. So in the home page, in the Greenstone library, in the home page, the toolbar is there, search engine. Search engine, they are mentioned in the bracket. Once you are click it and to typing of that any of that information, so automatically it will be showing the such information. So what is the command of the that is the what is that communicating the performance. So what type of that performance is the required. So immediately it will be showing the information. So directly. So that type of that information it will be showing, and also language preference. So what type of that language we are choosing, whether Chinese or English or French. So it will be language options is there, encoding the schemes. So encoding system, it will be there. So each of the standard encoding one standard of the success, They are the following. And the interface format. So interface format means, so one by one, step by step, n number of the people, they are the accessing. It will be interfacing. It will be showing to the step by step of the format. There is no discrepancy. Even though in the thousands of the people at a time, they are the accessing, your interface is the no problem. There is a network of that, there is no issue. So such type of that methodologies, they are the following. And depending on that particular collections. So depending upon the particular collection, we are the LIS profession, we are searching the LIS information. So specific domains, assessment, specific people, they are the asking, specific information they are the providing. Such performances. So such different performances are there, such performances. So the short-term performance and the coding performance or subject performance, different approaches, different applications, it will be provided to the different informations to the all the user community. So that type of the information they are the providing. And also performance space. So in the how it will be performing the entirely the content of that information, it will be showing the document-wise document, page to page. It will be showing that entirely that information. So these all our features are very standard and useful features to the Greenstone library. Greenstone library is borrowing by subject. So in the Greenstone, borrowing by the subject means, for example, our community is the LIC community. So LIC subjects, it will be reflected. In case any one of the people, they are searching some of the physics information, it will be reflected. And also browsing the title relations. So title and subjective relation, subject-wise, how many subjects are there in the alphabetical A to Z, agriculture to zoology, all the subject will be reflected. In the title-wise, for example, in the A subject is the automata theory. So up to zoology, in the what are the information it will be showing. And also it will be showing to the browsing by organizations. So by organization, for example, UNESCO is there, and WHO is there, RBI is there. So in the world wise, some of the NATO is there, and also NASA is there. So in the different domains of the publications, that is the organizations of the information, ISRO is there. That type of the content of that information also, according to this is why, not only for the subject wise, title wise, and also organization wise, international organizations of that information, FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization, Rome, that information. So such type of that information will be reflected in the Greenstone library. And finally, in the D space. So D space is called as a digital space, the digital space. So this is also the digital repository scheme. It will be very, very useful to the all the academic institutions. So this is the developed by the MIT libraries in the UK, and also this is the HP people, that is the originally developed by the DSpace software, MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology library in the America. The people will be developed by the DSpace. DSpace software in the majority of all the institutions. What is the DSpace? DSpace. So DSpace is called as a repository, digital space. DSpace is called as a digital space. For example, in our library, whose files is there, whose documents, the project reports is there in the final year BTech projects. So how many projects is there in our students? 1,500 students is there, 1,500 documents. How much of one room of the books is came, one rack of that books is came. How total collecting? I did not do collecting that much of that. The entirely I was taking to the soft copies and digital the content, digital the CSC, computer science and engineering, 60 projects. IT projects is the 120. Categories it is around in the 1,500 copies, and digital content of that format, I am alphabetical order and subject wise allocating. So that is allocating and storing in my server. So automatically it will be saving my repository. So my institution repository, my college around in the 400 faculty members are there. 400 faculty members, they are publishing the 5,000 articles. So 5,000 articles, it will be storing in the my repository, my file. That is called as a my system. So automatically, how it will be get it? So automatically it will be branch wise, computer science, mechanical engineering, civil engineering. So once we can click it in the abstract of that method in the alphabetical order, all the data it will be reflected to transmitting to the publications of. This is called as a institutional repository. Institutional repository nothing but just like as a computer. It will be saving the data. Where what is the main principles is the required. One configuration of that server is the required. In the server, in the very that is called as a IBM mainframe main Samba server. So such type of the top names is there in the servers. We have the kept it on server and copying and storing the retrieving whatever that information is there in our library, publications or faculty publications or institutional thesis or dissertation, newsletters, any one of that information you can clear cutly to find it. So our institution name is there, you know. So in the music program, MLIC students, MLIC dissertations, how many programs are they conducting? Ambedkar University, how many students are there? How many projects are conducted? So such type of that information will be retrieved. So in the area of the DSpace. And DSpace is what is the advantages? DSpace is in the format and customizing types of the supported. The content supported system, content type supported. For example, the digital library formats content supported services. That means in the content means I have explained to you. So my college is the engineering college. BTech students, MTech students, MBA students is there. In the BTech, pharmaceutical engineering, biomedical engineering, chemical engineering, civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical, and there are the different branches is there. All the branches individually, each of that file it will be supporting. Once I will click it in the UG projects, all the branches names it will be showing. So if you need the mechanical, you can click it automatically. The mechanical of the branch of that information will be showing. So that type of that content of that reliability of that supporting this software, the DSpace it will be providing. Digital preservation. Digital preservation means dachbetkodam. Preservation means dachbetkodam, bhadrata. So entirely our projects is there. Our students done the projects. The entire the content of that information it will be storing in our database. So the representation it will be storing in our data. That is the digital preservation. That is the main thing. And the structured and the organization of the digital content. Structured, this is the one for what is that? The structure of the organization, alphabetical order. So what is that? A to Z. So A, what is the file is there? B, what is the file is there? Structure and digital content. What type of that content, digital format of that content, it will be reflected that information. So alphabetical order, it will be showing the information. And also, this is called as a persistent identification. For example, we are searching any of that information, accurate that information will be showing on the screen. The access control. So any one of the people, for example, administrative control we have. So in case we are providing that information, we are asking any of that information to the students, searching the students, individually the people can be see, but they did not do some privileges is there. As the administrator, we have some privilegation. So once the people need to accept that information to providing to the students, then people will see. So whatever that information is there in the institutional repository, in the DSpace. So access to all the students and all faculty. That is one contemporary and the serial and search and retrieval. So search and retrieval means, for example, I'm going to the DSpace of that my library, my institutional repository. I'm searching automatically whatever that information I'm searching. So those who are the database, whatever that information is there, automatically it will be transmitted to the retrieving the information. That is one contemporary. And open source software. So this is called as a open source software. So automatically it will be all the open source softwares. It will be supported to the database. And multilingual support. So multilingual means in the multi-language of the language. I am the Telugu literature. I am publishing my language in Telugu. Some of the articles. నేను ఒక పద్యభాగం రాశాను. ఆ పద్యభాగం సెలెక్ట్ అయింది. ఆ పద్యభాగం ఒక తెలుగు కవిత గీతం అయింది. దాన్ని ఒక జర్నల్లో పబ్లిష్ అది కూడా పెట్టుకోవచ్చు. And that is the Telugu language. So that Telugu language and English language, the multiple language. So my article, my faculty on Tamilian is there. Was the publisher in Tamilian language. So immediately keeping. So the database is the DSpace, it will be supporting the all the bilingual languages. That is called interdisciplinary. All the languages are acceptable, not only for the English. That type of thing. Standard compiler. So that is the standard compiler. Any one of the people, any place where the searching, the standard compilation. That means, so any people they are the searching, automatically it will be showing that information. That is the standard structure of that format. And also statistics. So what are the statistics in the year wise? How many publications are uploaded? How many projects are uploaded? Each and year wise it will be showing the, reflecting the information. And also customization. So that is the customization means we are the customizing. For example, for example, we are the uploading the 10 documents. One document is no need. Immediately you can remove and one more document you can add it. That type of that customization in our hands, that flexibility is there. And interoperability. So in case, for example, we need in the top of the priority for one document. So automatically we are the providing one document on that area. So that type of that facilities is there. For example, DOAJ, so such type of that areas. And document versioning. So the document versioning means, so for example, I'm publishing my article in the Scopus publication. So Scopus is the top priority. Web of Science is the first priority. Second is the Scopus. Third is the UGC. And fourth one is the local publication of the journals. So such type of the priority of the documentation versatility and also statistics. So in the D space, how many documents is there? So how many years we are maintaining? In this academic year, how many documents is came? That entirely, that content of that information, it will be reflected. D space is the user interface. That means it will be user interface. It means you and me only. We are the searching of that any information, automatically it will be showing the information to me. So that type of that information, it will be reflected. And D space is the home page. So in the home page means in the first page in the D space of that part, it will be showing all the publication of that information to me in the front end of that main disk. And the second one is the publication and articles. In the publications, how did it be published the article? First one is the title, abstract, keywords, and introduction, and objectives, research methodology, statement of the problem, analysis, and conclusion, bibliography. The structure of the articles, how did it be reflected? How did it be uploading? That entirely information will be provided into the D space. D space is called as author page. D space browse as author page. For example, my name is there. The D space software is there in my institution. Rani is there. So how did it be collecting her name is there or not? So we did not to find out that entire that information. Just go there and search it, Rani. So automatically her name is there or not, easily to find out. And also it will be providing the full text of that information. So full text of that information means, so some of the journals it will be showing the only abstract of that information, not for the full text of that information. So it will be showing to the full text of that information. So this is the mainly the impact of that useful of that information. They are the providing the D space of the software and a handle system. So this is the handle system, easy way, any place, any area, we can easily to handle the software. So in the D space and the institutional repository. So the D space is the D space is very closely using any one of that people. The institutional repository, just like as D space is called. So our institution is there. My repository is my institution. So it will be referred multimedia. My institution, one video going on, one program is going on, annual day. We are uploading the data. So this entirely, this type of that information will be storing the D space. This three is the open source softwares, digital library softwares. Today we are discussing the e-prints of the software. And what is that e-print software? It will be over. Greenstone is there. And the third one is the D space. There is three databases is the most important of the digital libraries. In the examination of that point of view, you can clear-cutly to study and read that content. Okay. Thank you. Any doubts, please?
Thank you so much, sir.
Any doubts, please? These three areas. In the examination of that point of view, in the competitive examination of the point of view, you can read thoroughly. This is the most important questions. This lesson is right now today on the discussion. This is very, very important for you, all of you. So you can read these three is very important. Okay. This is the question. Okay.
Sir.
Okay, sir.
Sir, Fedora also digital library software.
Yamandi?
Fedora, sir. Fedora also digital library software.
అవునండి.
ఓకే
ఓకే అండి. ఈ మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ అండి ఇవి. ఇది చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ చూడండి. ఓకే.
ఓకే సార్. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
రైట్ అండి. థ్యాంక్ యూ. విల్ మీట్ అగైన్ ఇన్ ద నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్ ప్లీజ్.
Thank you, sir.
ఓకే అండి. వెల్కమ్ ప్లీజ్.
Thank you, sir.